Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about this makes women want you physically. So there are some things that you can do, some traits that you can adopt and practice so that you can become more attractive to women. And any guy can do this. You don't need to have any special skills. You don't need to be good looking. You don't need to be rich. These are some ways that you can make a woman want you physically. And it's all about your vibe and the way that you communicate with a woman, okay? Because men and women, they communicate way differently. Women are more emotional based, so they're more focusing on how you're actually making, how much you're making her feel her emotions, you know, how she's feeling. She's very focused on her emotions. And with guys, or people who are more masculine minded, they tend to be more visual creatures. So you need to be able to speak to her emotions, okay? So there's 3 traits that we're going to go into, and I'll dive into them quickly now, and then we will go deeper. Okay, so the first one is confidence with women. The second one is mystery, and the last one we're going to be talking about today is leadership. So first of all, let's talk about confidence with women. Now, confidence with women is very different than just being confident, because you may be a confident driver, you may be confident with at your job, you may be confident with your friends, but are you confident with women and speaking to women? So, and there is a special way that you need to talk to women, especially ones that you're hoping to make your girlfriend or you want to go on a date with them. So what is this language and how do you need to come across and be more confident with women? So typically when a guy is talking to a woman that he finds interesting, he's just asking her regular questions. You know, like, oh, how are you? Where did you grow up? What kind of music are you into? What kind of movies do you watch? And these questions are fine, and you can definitely ask these questions. But you also need to be putting in there flirtation, and you need to be putting in banter, and even sometimes teasing. So let's say, for example, you're talking to a woman, and you are hoping to, you think that she's, you're talking to her, and you're like, oh yeah, she's actually kind of cute. I'd really like to get to know her better. I'd really like to start making her more attracted to me. So let's say you're talking, and let's say she's talking about a handbag that she's got, and let's say it's like a Gucci handbag and it costs a lot of money, and she's telling you about it. You can say to her, you mean that handbag? That handbag? Are you serious? Right? And what you're coming across, what you're saying is, that bag doesn't look that great. Why have you got that bag? And then she might be like starting to like get a bit standoffish and be like, well, what do you mean? What's wrong with it? And you're like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. It's a great bag. Tell me more about it. I'd like to know. So what you're showing is that you're not afraid to offend her. You're not afraid to be polarizing. You're not afraid to mess with her and tease her and play with her, right? And that's how you can show a woman that you're not scared of her. Because a lot of these nice guys, they go up and they talk to her like a friend. And they're like saying, oh, where did you grow up? What do you do for a living? Those kinds of questions. But it's giving off the friendship vibe. But when you're being a bit more playful and you're being a bit more teasy like that, like how I just described in that conversation, you're coming across more attractive because you're not afraid. And you're coming across as confident because you're not afraid to mess with her and play with her and tease her and banter with her. Because you might be like a very, that bag might be really good and you actually think that's a really cool bag. But you're just messing with her, right? It could be that she's got like these really bright shoes on or something like that. She's got these really bright shoes on, and maybe you don't like the shoes, and you might be talking to you, and let's say she's talking to you quite confidently, and you can just say, but hey, stop a minute. I don't understand how you can be talking to me so confidently when you're wearing those shoes. Look at them, right? Just look at them. Look at those shoes, right? Right? And she might be like, well, what do you mean? What's wrong with them? And you're like, oh no, it's fine. It's great. They're great shoes. Carry on. Sorry, what was you saying? Right, it's stuff like that, you see. That's how you communicate with a woman to come across like you're confident and that you don't mind what she thinks of you and you're okay to banter and play with her and tease her. And it's basically just giving off this very playful energy. And it can be quite flirtatious as well. So that's how you show that you're confident with women. And if you're able to do that, then you're going to be getting women more attracted to you very, very quickly. So the next thing I want to talk about is mystery. Yeah? Now, mystery is a cool one that you can do. And it's very, very simple because it actually requires a minimal effort on your part. So sometimes when I talk about this, though, some guys in the comments, just some guys in the comments, they're like, oh my god, it's so much work to get a woman to like you these days. But the thing is that if you're actually doing minimal steps, you're not messaging her that much, right? You're not doing as much. You're not communicating with her as much. So actually, you're doing a lot less, right? All you're doing is just sitting back and doing a lot less. So the way that I've always done it, and this is how I met my wife, was that when I would ask my wife out on a date, I would wait a good few days before asking her out again. So the first time that we went out on a date, I waited 5 whole days before asking her out again on another date. And in between those days, it was just radio silence, right? And then I asked her out on another date, and then we made up another date, and things went pretty good from then on. And we started seeing each other more and more eventually, and then we ended up living together. Then we got married, and we have a kid. So there's just but it all started off with me being very patient with her and just messaging her every so often. I wasn't doing it all the time. I wasn't always in her DMs. And the thing is with my wife is she gets a lot of attention. She doesn't think that she does, because I think that's one of those things with women. We just don't think we're as good looking as we think we are. And she's definitely one of those women. She's, you know, you can say what you want about me, but she is definitely 100% a beautiful woman. Okay? And she gets looks from guys all the time. Like, I just remember the other day we was walking, she was wearing this nice dress. It wasn't like a sexy dress or anything like that. It's quite like a country looking dress. It's just sort of long down to her ankles. It's got flowers on it. It's very, very pretty. Pretty dress, not a sexy dress, right? And we was walking into the shop, and I noticed this guy just like do a double take of her, because she is stunning, right? I don't know why she's with me, but it's probably because I know these things, right? It's probably because I got a good looking wife because I know these things. But anyway, because she gets so much attention, she was telling me about how these women that she used to talk to and who she went on a couple of dates with would always be blowing up her phone, would always be messaging all the time. Once, after a date with, just one date with a woman, my wife got 2 bunches of flowers and a message from this woman saying, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, right? So, and she would get that kind of stuff all the time. So when I came around and I was doing less of that, I wasn't doing, in fact, I didn't do any of that. I remember specifically telling her, right, when she was telling me about this ex that she had, who would always buy her loads of stuff, and eventually she dumped that girl because she just felt so indebted to her, and she was just too emotional and too needy and too insecure, this woman that she was dating. You know, she was telling me about all these things that this woman would buy for her, almost like bribes for sex. And she told me, oh, you know, about these things. And I said to her, well, you'll be lucky to get a slap on the bum from me and a Cadbury cream egg, which costs about like 80p here in the UK. I said, that's about as good as you're going to get from me. I'm not going to buy you loads of clothes. I'm not going to buy you loads of dinners. Forget about it, right? But it's playful, it's banter. Of course I spend money on her and buy her gifts every now and then. But it's about having that sort of like attitude of, that, you know, just that confidence basically. So anyway, I was a mystery to begin with. I didn't do that thing where, you know, that woman had given her 2 bunches of flowers and told her that she couldn't wait to spend the rest of her life with her after just one date, right? So it's all about just backing off and waiting a few days after dates and before you message a woman. And what you got to remember is I did this with my wife. This woman is now my wife. Not just some girl I hooked up with once or had a bit of a situationship with. This woman turned into my wife. So if you're looking for a long-term relationship, this is how you do it. Okay? And what you'll find is that if you back off and you remain a mystery and you don't message as much, it's going to weed out the women that are insecure and toxic and keep around those women that are more steady. And it is how you actually attract a really, really beautiful, high caliber woman as well, right? Because beautiful women like my wife have a lot of attention, right? And have like these really insecure people just like fall head over heels for her really, really fast, you see. So I was able to win her because I wasn't like that. I backed off. I didn't message her that much. Now say what you want. You might be like, yeah, but this is a lesbian relationship, so it's not the same. Women are the same, right? No matter who you're dealing with. Right? Sometimes you can get a more masculine woman like me and a more feminine woman like my wife. You can get, you know, especially with lesbians, you know, you get the butch and the feminine one, right? So it may not work on, let's say, like a more masculine or an alpha female, but or masculine lesbian. like a butch lesbian or something like that, but it's going to work on those feminine women that you're going to find attractive. And more than likely, if you're a guy watching this, then you're attracted to very, very beautiful feminine women, and you're not attracted to more butchy women, you're attracted to more feminine women. But this kind of thing works always on beautiful feminine women really positively, and it has a positive effect on their attraction level, especially if they have their head screwed on right. Because there are some women out there that are going to get, because they're so obsessed with their phones, if you don't message them the right way, they're going to get angry, they're going to get bitchy. Well, guess what? If they do that, great. You're weeding out all the bad ones, okay? And you're looking for the good ones, okay? Because the good ones won't mind. The good ones will know that you don't have time 24/7 to be chit-chatting on the phone. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got hobbies, you've got a job, you've got other appointments to be dealing with. So they know that you're not going to be available 24/7. Because more than likely, she's not available 24/7 to chit-chat either, okay? So that's how you bring about that mystery. You back off before you talk and things like that. Or you back off before you, in between messages, and you're backing off, you're sending one message maybe once a week to arrange a date with her once a week, and you're waiting her to come to you. Because obviously if a woman, let's say you do that, what you did, like what I did, like, okay, you wait 5 days. But in between those days, let's say she reaches out to you and says, hey, how are you? Then of course that's fine to reciprocate. Then you can say, you know what, I can't wait to see you again. When are you free? So whenever she reaches out to you, the way that Corey Wayne says, is he says, when a woman reaches out to you, assume it means that she wants to see you. And then all you have to do is just arrange a date with her and to ask her out. Yeah? So then the last thing that I want to talk about then is leadership. Now, when it comes to leadership is really, really simple. Because I'm not talking about like, oh, I need to be the leader of other men, or I need to become a leader in my job. That's not what I mean by leadership, although that's something that you can do if you want to. What I mean by leadership here is you're the leader over her. So you're the leader in that dynamic with your girlfriend, with your wife, or this girl that you're dating. Okay? And the way that you do this is very simple. If you're arranging a date with a woman, you be the one that comes up with the time and the place. You ask her when she's free, and she says, okay, yeah, I'm free on Tuesday, I'm free Saturday, I'm free Monday. You're like, okay, great. How about I meet you on Saturday at 7 p.m. at this restaurant at this time? And she was like, great, that sounds wonderful. And that's what you have to do. You just have to make those decisions. And if you're out, let's say you go for drinks, and then you're like, hey, how about we go and find some food? And she's like, yeah, okay, what do you want to do? The worst thing you can do is say, oh, I don't know, what do you want to do? Don't do that. Just come up with a time, come up with a place. So let's say you're out, say, how about, well, I know this nice steakhouse down the road, let's go there. And she'll be like, okay, sure, let's go. That's what I mean by being a leader. Just being the one that comes up with plans, being decisive. Being the more decisive one. That's it. That's simply it. And it goes the same when you get into a relationship as well. When you're trying to figure out what kind of house to buy. Where do you want to go shopping that day? What kind of TV do you want to get? Just make a decision. If she doesn't like it, she'll offer an alternative. And if her alternative is superior, then go for it. Because if she's not happy, she'll tell you if she's not happy with the decision that you've made. Or a choice. She'll say, no, I want to do something different. You're like, okay, sure. Okay, how about we do this instead? That's what you need to do. Or maybe she'll offer an alternative. So that's what I mean by leadership. You're not necessarily having to be a leader of other people. You're just leading her. You're being the leader in that relationship between you and her. Okay? And that's how you can become more attractive, sexually attractive to women. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christinelovish.com. I shall talk to you again very soon. Bye.